Welcome to the Leverton Review, the podcast where I, Leverton, review literally everything. Movies, books, podcasts, what have you. That's the first rule. Second rule is that every review that I do is under 10 minutes, starting from the moment I begin speaking about the thing, which is now. This is my review of the TV series Angel. Fun, but a failure. I've just finished watching this, and I have a lot of thoughts about it. My first thought is, why has there never been a film franchise based on the Buffyverse? This universe really helped internet fan culture to grow, and now the people who grew up watching it are middle-aged with money to spend. And it combines the campiness of classic Star Trek with its exploration of morality. Angel is, so far, Buffy's only spin-off in television or film. It's clearly a second thought, which is a shame, because it had potential. The story of Buffy was the story of a person growing up. She has more and more responsibility thrust on her, and she loses her dreams, loses her parents, becomes a parent, and ultimately sacrifices herself for the world. Then she gets resurrected because the show was too popular to kill at that moment. Angel starts out as a sort of mirror of that from a parent's perspective. It's the story of the sacrifices you have to make as a parent, or at least that seems to have been the intention. It doesn't quite tell this story. Things outside the world dictated what happened inside of it. In the first season, there's a character named Doyle who is Irish, and because the titular character Angel is supposed to be Irish, Doyle was killed off. Probably also because he wasn't that popular. The character of Cordelia was very popular in both Buffy and in this, but the actress got pregnant, which was unacceptable to the producers, it seems. Her character arc up until that point had been her proving that her shallowness was in fact superficial, and that she was a brave woman. And then all of this character development was thrown out the window, and the story had her be the dupe and the villain in a major story arc. There isn't anything wrong with turning a major character, a fan favorite, into a villain. In fact, this was done with Willow in the original series. But Willow had legitimate reasons to turn evil, and that plot line was all about her succumbing to her elemental power. With Cordelia, the problem was that the producers did not like the actress anymore. This detracted from the story of the main character. Another problem that the series has, which is a problem for many sci-fi, fantasy, horror films, is the problem of stakes that are escalated so high and so often that they are ultimately meaningless. All stories need high stakes, which is what keeps the viewer interested. In Buffy, one of the plot lines was the fight for Angel's soul. But after Buffy sacrificed herself, the story's high stakes are ultimately the end of the universe, again and again. It gets boring after a while, and I can see why this series was cancelled. If the series is a failure, is it worth watching? I would say yes. It never reaches the brilliant sci-fi horror heights or dramatic heights of the original, but there are moments that are chilling. When Angel locks a room full of human lawyers in with a pair of sadistic vampires, or when Lorne, the sweet-natured joker of the group, coldly murders a human by shooting him. That last example is especially chilling because the series only shows him defending himself usually. That gave his character a fitting end. Wesley's development is also handled well. The main character is also delightful to watch, a brooder with a wry sense of humor. In the original, Angelus was chilling, and you can understand how he was considered to be the evilest vampire of all time. But in this series, he just became silly, which was a mistake. So, if you like Buffy, this is worth a watch. That's my review of Angel, the TV series. One thing that I don't have mixed feelings about is my son's podcast, the Everything and More Etc. podcast, which you can find on every great podcast streaming platform. And yeah, I think that if you like thinking about movies and animated series, especially with the first season, you should check it out. You'd really like it. Thanks and bye.